Listen, everybody needs a fairy godmother, just somebody to look out for them. Some people call me their fairy smoke mother, others their internet big sister, but you can call me Hannah, the host of Smoke Sash. So come hang out, let's light up and talk everything there is to life. The good, the bad, the ugly, the embarrassing. I've got a story for it all. Hello, hotties of the world. Welcome back to another beautiful, amazing, wonderful episode of Smoke Sash. I'm so excited to be back with you guys, smoking up, hanging out a little, airing out all of our problems. Because listen, sometimes you just need a fucking safe space to be able to let some steam out, and love that I can be here for you guys. Love that I can provide that for you guys. Love that also we just get to hang out today, chill out. Happy Mother's Day to all my hot, sexy MILF mothers. If you're listening, shout out to you. You do so much for everybody, and your work does not go unnoticed. And I just want to let you know that you are so loved and beautiful and amazing. And I am so appreciative of everything you do. Even if you're not my mother, I want somebody to at least show up for you. Moms do so many things in this world, and being a mom is one of the hardest jobs. Thus, why I'm not a mother yet. Mentally, I don't know if I can handle that. So shout out to you. I hope you got all the love, all the flowers, all the appreciation in the world. You deserve it. I had a pretty busy weekend. As you guys know, I usually work all weekend. I think I'm about to quit a job. I've never quit a job before in my life. I've never put my 2 weeks in. Not I just disappear and just stop showing up. I'm not one of those girls. Usually it's just okay, hey, end of summer, end of little summer break job or whatever. I'm going back to school. This is the date. Not really a quitting 2 weeks, but kind of just wrapping it up. When I was a nanny, it was okay, grandma's moving to town, kids are starting school this day. That's when it'll be done. It's not necessarily I can't do this anymore, I quit. But I think I'm there, you guys. I think I'm there. Oh my God. Big girl moment for Hannah is going to have to be putting in my 2 weeks in about a week. Ooh, scary. But I just have been loving my other job, and I think I want to put more energy and time towards that. So that's exciting, circular ends, really just ending some cycles, stepping into some new cycles. One of the biggest things I've learned, especially as time progresses and just being spiritual and trying to work with the universe, is that if you find yourself in the same cycles, if you find yourself stuck in the same position over and over and over again, and you're why can't I escape? Why can't I get out of this cycle and grow and change? It's because you're not allowing yourself the opportunity to grow and change. The universe needs to see a sacrifice. It needs to see you actually want to end this cycle and open up space for blessings. So if you do not do so, it's not going to happen. And I have slowly been realizing the more space I make in my life for these blessings to occur, the more frequently they're happening. I have a very, 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 very exciting thing I'm working on for you guys. Stay tuned on that. Something that I've never done before. Something that I think my smoker girls are gonna love. So that really didn't approach me though, or happen until I was you know what? This one thing that's not serving me, I really need to remove this from my life, so then there is space for something to approach me and to bless me. And the universe really sees sacrifices as dedication to growing on the right path. So I know nothing but good will come from this, and I'm excited to see where life takes me. But today is finally my weekend. Oh my God, and I'm so excited to just fucking lay back and hang out with you all and just fucking chill and smoke. Oh my God. I love that we get to share my day off together and go over everything that's on our minds and just enjoy. But yeah, I don't really have much to catch you guys up on. Hung out with family yesterday, drank a lot of wine. But it's Mother's Day, and that's my mom's favorite thing to do. So of course I have to indulge a little bit. And then yeah, worked all weekend. My life's kind of chaotic right now because I haven't had a moment to step in and clear it up and clean up and do laundry and things like that. So oddly enough, I'm very excited to do that today after this and really just lean into the care and rest and relaxation aspect of life. I'm filming a glow up with me video for YouTube. You guys really like the 420 vlog. So I'm going to do something kind of in that style, like a little glow up with me situation. So if you want to watch that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I believe it's Smoke Sesh Shoddy, and that should be out soon, but I will be announcing it on my Instagram at Hannah Marlene. If you want to catch up, pay attention, follow me there. And if you want any extra content, you guys know where to find me. Come join the Patreon club. We have so much fun over on Patreon. I always do an extra podcast episode, manifestations. I keep you updated with what's going on astrologically. You know, it's fun. It's fun. Come join the club. Me and the girlies over there are having a blast. With that being said, I guess we'll dive into all your questions, see what's on your mind, see what the vibes are for the week recently. My personal vibes for the week are... What are my personal vibes for the week? I think my personal vibes for the week are smoking and doing Pilates, getting outside if possible. It is raining this morning, but I have a feeling it'll switch up for me because the universe loves me and wants to see me outside. I want to go strawberry picking this week, so I really am in my country slut era, really just trying to hone in on that aesthetic. Long showers, thrifting, planning for summer so we can make this the best summer possible. Cheers to that, girlies. Let me pull up the questions, and honestly, let's just dive right in. Someone said talk about the Met Gala. Usually, as a fashion lover, as a lover of anything extravaganza, this Met Gala was so fucking underwhelming. And here's the thing. The theme set them up perfectly. 2018, the girls would have eaten this fucking theme up, okay? It's giving garden. It's giving frozen in time. It's giving, you know, like so gorgeous, so fun. The girls would have ate it up. But now I feel like everybody's just so fucking out of touch that it's like, wow, they handed this to you on a silver fucking platter and you still couldn't serve. Are you kidding me? And it's so frustrating because it's like, listen, there's so much going on in the world. Like, if you are not aware what's happening in Palestine, it's because you're closing your eyes. It's because you don't want to be aware. Everybody fucking knows what's going on. Everybody is enraged. The people feel so out of control because it's not us. The people want freedom for them, but it's the government systems. They are completely out of touch with what the people truly want. And the theme being, it's about this movie where essentially, and this is a really bad recap, but listen, we're doing our best this morning. This is the best recap I can possibly give. But the theme was based on this art piece where this very rich family is being approached, their compound is being approached by this angry horde, this angry mob who is angry about their wealth. And they find this, what is it, like a time flower or something like that is able to hold time and hold off the angry mob. That was the theme of the fucking Met Gala. Like, Anna Wintour, she knows what the fuck she's doing. That was not a coincidence. That was not a coincidence. She knows what she's doing. She knows the economic and political environment right now, and that was intentional. Absolutely, because that is exactly what we're all feeling. And here's the thing. If you're gonna put on this event of extravaganza, of elegance to distract the poor common people like us, you better put on a good fucking show. It better be entertaining, because if it's not entertaining, we're gonna be pissed. There's nothing to get out of it. But it is giving dystopia. It is giving out of touch. It is giving like, wow, the wealth gap is actually insane. Like, there's these massive amounts of people outside of this huge event that costs 30 grand to get into, to simply get a ticket, and they're all protesting for peace and for freedom of these people. Are you kidding me? And you're here flaunting your wealth, not even doing it well, okay? Like, I can't even name one dress that I'm like, no, she ate. Like, like Lana Del Rey, we had hope for you, and unfortunately it looked like someone's sophomore fashion thesis project for the end of the semester. Not even a year's worth of work. Like, it looked cheap, it looked tacky. Unfortunately, I love you so much, but like, oh my god, it's just so frustrating to see, especially as a person who's like, you want to make a change and you want people to see good and you want people to do good, and then they don't, and you feel so out of control, and then you see these giant flaunts of wealth where it's like, okay, 30 grand for a ticket. Imagine what the fuck that would do for people who don't have any money or supplies or food and are being bombed. Like, are you kidding me? It's just so out of touch and so enraging, and I'm glad that the internet is feeling the same way as me. It's kind of nice when we we as the poor common folk are like all pissed off together. I love that. I love when we are united in that sense, where it's like, okay, so we're all seeing this correctly. Like, none of us are brainwashed right now. We're all seeing this correctly. We're all mad. Fantastic. Let's utilize this. You know what I mean? So yeah, no thoughts on the Met Gala other than really bad. Really bad. Like, what's that Jaden Smith quote? Like, oh my God, can we just talk about the political and economic state of the world right now? Honestly, he ate with that one. Like, let's address it. You have people protesting for peace outside and they're being arrested and beaten brutally. And everybody inside is just giggling in their multi-million-dollar dresses with a corset so small that you can't even breathe. In the name of what? Not fashion, because honey, that was not fashion. Trust. Anyways, here are some resources if you need to support the Palestinian people. One of my favorites that I have donated to is, so in KC, if you are a KC native, Kansas City, there is a local restaurant that is Palestinian owned, and they work very closely with this Palestinian farmer co-op, and they do a lot of donations there. So I do believe just simply eating at this restaurant is helping fund these Palestinian farmers. But it's called Baba's Pantry. It's so good too. Some of my favorite food. Anytime my brother comes into town, like, that's where we're always eating. They had a pop-up this Saturday to help benefit the Palestinian farmers, but specifically the Palestinian farmer that you can help support, donate to. Their Instagram handle is ARDALYAS 99. You can go to their link tree and donate directly to them in order to support these people and these farmers out there. But I do know Baba's Pantry works pretty closely to them, and they put on a lot of events for the Palestinian people locally. If you're in KC, that's some local opportunities that I wanted to share. But also, maybe if you can't show up locally where I am, I guarantee there's some stuff going on locally where you are. Reach out, look out, support. But financially, if you have it, some bigger organizations you can donate to are the Palestinian Children's Relief Fund, Islamic Relief, Medical Aid for Palestinians, or Doctors Without Borders. Especially when you feel so out of control, the best thing you can really do when it feels like the world is just engrossing in chaos is look for local support. Help your local community, show up with your local community. That's probably the most important. And the next best thing you can do is really just seek bigger organizations that maybe you can give time, energy, maybe monetary if you have it, but at least your time and energy directed towards that. But those are my thoughts on the fucking Met Gala. Like, honestly, it sucks because every year the Met Gala is so interesting, especially from like a fashion perspective. I really do like enjoy seeing the different designs, the different designers, how they, approach a theme, like from an artistic fashion background, which I have. It is very interesting. It just sucks when it's like, holy shit, you have all this fucking money and all these resources and you still look like that. Interesting. The only person who got it right was Pamela Anderson, who, not her outfit, but literally after the Met Gala, she didn't go to any party, she didn't do anything. She had her Sprinter van take her straight to, that big park in New York, and she just ran around in her big fluffy dress in the garden, and I was like, now that is on theme. The photo she posted where it was like her on the red carpet, and then it was her like running around in the garden, just like spinning in her dress. I'm like, that is what it's about. Talk about performance art. Her and I guess Elle Fanning, I really liked the literally frozen in time birds. And it was like a glass dress. Gorgeous, beautiful. She does always eat. And honorable mention, Tyla. I love the take on Frozen in Time, Sands of Time, and literally her dress being made out of sand. Her being carried up those steps. Oof. Yeah. Anyways, support the Palestinian people. Show up for them. Don't look away. And do what you can. Also, if you are enraged, please understand that that is valid and probably exactly how you're supposed to be feeling in this moment in time. So Love you. Someone said, all of my exes had kids after we broke up. I'm up. Literally. Oh my God. The amount of like, every time I get on Instagram, it's crazy growing up because like in high school, if anybody got pregnant, it was like, oh my God, which valid, like, oh my God, you're 15 and pregnant. I mean, support and love, but wow. Anyways, now you're older, and it's funny because like I'm about to turn 25, and I still feel like that 15-year-old girl every time I see anybody post anything on Instagram that they're pregnant. I'm like, oh, are you supposed to be? It's like, girl, people are getting married and having babies at this age. Of course they're supposed to be, but I just still feel like a child, and that is insane to me. So, sounds like you're hot, single, ready to mingle, and they have a baby. So, you are indeed up. Oh my God, I got my nails done, you guys. Let me do a nail cam real quick for y'all. They're so fucking cute. I asked for like springy tie-dye colors. Let me get a close-up for you real quick. These are just my in-between spring nails as I approach my birthday. I still need to figure out what my birthday nails are going to be. But oh my gosh, I'm doing so much planning for my birthday. I'm going out on vacation, but I feel like last vacation, I went on vacation. It was just like an experience vacation. With this birthday, it's all about kind of like aesthetic, in my opinion. And you're like, Hannah, you shouldn't base your birthday on aesthetic. But I am a very visual aesthetic person. It's like I feel good in a really good outfit. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just like my creative brain, my artistic brain. But it's like I just really enjoy the aesthetics. So I found this really cute, adorable mountain cabin. We're going to go swimming in these beautiful rivers. We're going to go hiking. We're going to be drinking wine on a rooftop in a flowy dress. Like that's the energy that I really want to bring into turning 25. Really just focusing on the little things and paying attention to detail, making sure I get all the details right. That is the goal of this birthday. And I'm so excited. Someone said, tell me why I always get my period with the new moon. Am I a witch? I mean, maybe. I guess it depends on how you utilize it. I always get my period on the full moon. It's usually like the end/beginning of the month. That's usually when the full moons are. But I do know like when you do have your period on a new moon, it has been linked to like strong intuition and the urge to kind of like withdraw into yourself, because new moons are all about like your internal worlds and like internal chaos. So maybe it's just a sign that you need to focus on the internal healing, things like that, creativity. Now the full moon, when you bleed on the full moon, it's considered a like red moon cycle or something. And that's more about focusing on the external, really make sure you're doing some TLC on the external, looking outwards and connecting that to the internal. So someone said those eyebrows, mama, to die for. Tell me why. For like the first 20 years of my life, I never plucked my eyebrows. Never, not once. And it was cool, but I didn't realize like how much eyebrows really just elevate a look. And I love these skinny little tiny eyebrows. They are my new favorite thing ever. I feel like I'm one step closer to just shaving them and dyeing them, but for now this is what we're gonna rock, because I might look like an alien if I do that. And not like a hot sexy alien like most of you girlies look, like a apparition from an other world that is so haunting and terrifying. That's what I would look like. Someone said I want to be my party phase, but I don't have friends, and the ones I do have don't want to go. Sometimes you just gotta put yourself out there and go make new friends and just go to those events. Like the amount of times I have stayed home from a party and then had insane FOMO when I know I could have just gone and had fun, or I stayed home from a concert and didn't go when I knew I could just go and have fun on my own. Like as long as you're your own best friend and you stay safe and you have a good head on your shoulders and you don't get too intoxicated and you just go for the vibes and to have fun, like I guarantee you're gonna have a good time. Like you don't necessarily have to rely on what your friends want to do. My friends, they don't want to fucking go to raves with me. My boyfriend didn't even want to go to raves with me for the first like 3 years we were together. I was showing up alone to those, and my one goal that night was just to drink and have fun and fucking party and be a party girl, because I gotta let her loose every once in a while or I'm gonna spiral. So that's what I would do. And guess what? I would show up, I'd have a fucking blast, I'd enjoy my time, and then I'd go home and I'd crawl in bed next to my boyfriend and pass out. Like, you do not have to have people who enjoy the same things you do. Don't purposefully leave yourself out of things just because you don't want to go to them alone. I think you can go to them alone and have fun, but I do think there is a very important thing, underlying note to add here, which is please stay safe. Do not take any drinks from anybody. Do not take any drugs from anybody. Make sure you have a good head on your shoulders. Make sure you have a safe way to get there and get home. I feel like everybody loves the party girl lifestyle, but you really need to have a safe party girl lifestyle to genuinely enjoy it. Is there any way to mend a relationship after direct disrespect? I want to be quick to say no, but I think that's my Scorpio Venus talking. It really depends on the way you interact with people and how much disrespect you can take. Listen, everybody's a human being. Everybody's going to fuck up every once in a while. Someone might accidentally disrespect you. It might happen, and it's not necessarily meaning the disrespect it was meant to be. It might just come off that way. If that person is like, catches themselves like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, did not mean that way, please don't take it personally, then sure, whatever, we'll get over it. You apologized. It wasn't that big of a deal. I don't care. But if we're talking disrespect, which men love to construe disrespect as like genuine dogging you, like, oh, he disrespected me. I'm like, girl, he slept with 5 other women. That's not disrespect. That's he hates your guts. And why be with someone who hates your guts? So it really just depends on the level. Like, if they really fucked you over, sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is just cut them off. And you will feel stronger for that. You will feel more in touch with yourself for that. You'll feel more confident in yourself because you saw disrespect and you understood you knew better and you made the direct change to go after that better. Love. So it really just depends on the level, but the capital direct and the capital disrespect shows me it was maybe a little bit more than like an accidental slip up. I don't know. Some people are like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna move on. Some people take it a little bit more harshly than others. I'm the kind of person who takes everything way too seriously, so keep that in mind. You guys want to smoke? I think we need to smoke. I've been drinking coffee all morning, but I'm like, I want to chill out, okay? And I love that you guys are smoking with me. If you don't smoke, that's okay. Stay strong. I don't mean to deter you from your path of healing. Stay there. But I might indulge, so skip 15 seconds if you need. Also, I meant to say this, a lot more of you guys are listening to this. I don't know if it's just summer break and you guys have a bunch of time on your hands, but oh my God, my viewing shot up like 30,000. I was like, woo, okay, it's a busy week, you guys. Girlies are tuning in and turning up. I love it. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you. I don't know if you guys are returning listeners, in which I love you. I hope you're enjoying. So good to see your pretty little face. And if you've never listened, welcome to the shit show that is Smoke Sesh. No judgment here, no hate here, only good positive vibes, lots of smoke, understanding, and looking hot and sexy, putting out hot, sexy energy and vibes. You know, what's better than that? Cheers. Loves it. How to figure out what studies I want to do. I'm going to start senior year and I'm lost. So when you're trying to like hone in on what you think you would be most successful in, you kind of have to navigate 3 different aspects. A, the longevity. Is this something I'm going to be able to do for the rest of my life? You know, like, is this something that I can pursue forever? Maybe B, success, longevity and success. Like, if it's something you are genuinely talented in and can do, even with hard work, can just succeed in, then fantastic. Because the third one is finance and like financials. Like, is this a good financial idea? The thing is, if you are successful in it, then it's probably a good financial idea. Don't pay attention to the fear mongers of like the people who are like, oh, you're not going to make any money doing that. Oh my God, how are you going to raise a family? It's like, listen, we're all asking that, even if we're an engineer or an art student. That's just the economic state of the world right now. So don't pay attention to that, because if you can be successful and have longevity in it, that I do think you will financially succeed. Do not base what you want to do on finances. You will be a slave to capitalism for the rest of your life and you will hate your life. That's why I quit nursing. I did nursing for 2 years too, and it was something that I was interested in, and it was something that I was really successful in. Like, I was very good at those tests and, you know, memorizing and applying that to a real world experience. But it was something where I was like, if I do this, I don't think I will survive. So if that's how you feel, don't pick that one. But I do think if you just focus on the longevity aspect, success, finances, then I think it's a good choice. Someone said using sex as a coping mechanism. Yes. Yeah, I think a lot of people use sex more than drugs nowadays. I think everybody just has like a love and sex addiction recently, especially when you see those new Bumble ads. I think I'm going to make a parody of the Bumble ad to advertise this podcast. Because did you see them? It's like, celibacy is not the answer. And I want to make them that to say celibacy is the answer. Because, bitch, what man wrote this? Are you kidding me? It's like, I don't know. I think a lot of people recently, especially like even single, base their self-worth off of like the instant gratification of sex. And it doesn't necessarily have to be good sex. It's just like, I'm having sex, so then I feel wanted, so then I feel like a whole human being. And I think that's something that we as a society really need to break. Thus, the advertising should have been celibacy is the answer. But that's not good for a capitalistic dating app, is it? So yeah, sex addiction, very real. Using it as a coping mechanism, very real. Please, please, please be aware of what you're doing it for and your intentions for everything, like alcohol, sex, drugs, money. It's like, why am I spending this? Why am I drinking this? Am I trying to cover up an emotion? Am I trying to hide an emotion? What's going on? I think it's really important, especially if you have a hard time connecting with yourself or really knowing who you are, is asking yourself these questions throughout the day. A lot of like not knowing who you are is from not connecting or not even being to be able to connect to yourself, to know yourself better. I think you have to ask yourself questions the same way you would a friend and get to know them, because I think this is a big part of it. And being able to live a healthy lifestyle is asking yourself, why am I doing these things? Am I drinking alcohol because, I'm at this beautiful winery and I have a couple glasses of wine every once in a while and, I'm just enjoying a good day? Or is it I had a really long, hard day and I want to black out and not feel anything? Two very different experiences. But a lot of people do not ask themselves why they're doing it and then find themselves in these positions of really just utilizing instant gratification in order to mask feelings. And let me tell you this right here, right now, it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel. Even those hard ones, it's okay. Your feelings aren't going to kill you. Your feelings aren't going to hurt you. They're not going to physically damage you. The more you address them and work through them in that very moment, the easier it is to process, the better connection you're going to have to yourself. So, also, this doesn't just go for the single girls. Like, even if you're in a relationship, ask yourself, like, oh my God, do I actually love him, or is the dick just good? A lot of you are dickmatized out there. We've talked about this before. Please unhypnotize yourself from that man's penis. Love you. How to get through a best friend fight? Space. You guys just need space. Usually a lot of fights are because you guys spend way too much fucking time together and you're just getting a little annoyed. You're getting a little annoyed and hyper focused on people's behaviors, actions, thoughts, things like that. So I think to heal any best friend friendship is really you just need time away for each other. Time and space always makes the heart grow fonder. This is exactly what this fucking podcast is for. I love when it's like the kind of questions that I'm obsessed with, and the ones that you all send are like questions that the girls are too afraid to ask other people, so they're typing into the Google search bar like their question and then Reddit on the end. Like, I want the answers from the people, and that's the kind of questions I love from you guys. Literally, someone was like, I can feel my IUD strings, should they be shorter? No, they're supposed to pop out of you a little bit, so when they're removing it, they have something to grab onto. It also is just like a physical representation that it's in the right place, because if your strings move, usually that means your IUD is moved out of place. Also, pro tip. Okay, anatomy lesson for you girlies here. Your cervix and your uterus is going to move around inside you based on your cycle. Like, some positions are not going to feel as good in your cycle because of the way your uterus and the way your cervix is sitting. And I didn't realize mine will tilt around. So when I was checking for the strings, sometimes I like couldn't find them because I couldn't find my the cervix because I didn't know where to look. And I didn't realize that until I had to check for my IUD strings all the time and like actually interact with my body. Oh my God, how dare I? That your uterus and your cervix will kind of change position based on whatever part of your cycle you're in. So if you can't feel them, don't panic. You got to find your cervix and then feel for them. As long as you feel them poking out a little bit, you're good. And also, if you feel the strings change length, that's okay. It just means that, you know, your uterus has moved a little bit and your IUD is sitting slightly different based on where your cycle is. It'll move back into position. Don't worry, don't worry. A lot of this, guess what? I didn't learn from my doctor. You know, no. Because why would I? Why am I having to learn all these things on my own? I guess maybe that's just how it works, but it's also like so crazy to like live a real world experience of medical technology and it actually getting better through my IUD experience. Because my first one, archaic, our caveman techniques. Okay. 5 years later, I'm like, wow, I can see the difference. That's insane. But no, yeah. Pro tip, they're supposed to be hanging out of you. It's okay. And if a man ever says, oh, I don't like the strings poking me, bitch, fuck off and get out my pussy then. Like, how dare you complain about the way I choose my birth control? Also, I guarantee you can't fucking feel it. If you do, it's like, damn, chill out. Like, don't be such a baby. Imagine how I feel. Ugh, the worst. Blunt or gummies? Which one do you prefer? I love you so much. I'm a gummy girl. I can't do blunts. I can't. I mean, I love a blunt. I love like the aesthetics of a blunt. I love just like facing a blunt. I love a white grape, white owl blunt. They're so good. But my God, do they make me break out. Once again, something they don't teach you, okay? Blunts, nicotine, tobacco is going to make your skin basically chemically fall apart. My skin, so sensitive. I didn't realize. I thought, oh, it's only topically, you know, if I touch my face, whatever. No. Nicotine will also make you break the fuck out. The worst skin of my life ever, 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 ever. I'm talking 2 to 3 new cystic acne spots on my face and 5 to 6 of them on my body somewhere. I was getting that much acne every single day. And do you know why? It's because I was facing blunts and I had a jewel addiction. I was just inhaling nicotine all day and it made me break out so bad. It's not worth the risk, you know? It's not worth the risk. My skin, she's doing so well and I love her so much. It's like, I don't even want to look at her wrong. I don't want to piss her off. So I'm not going to smoke a blunt. I do smoke a lot of joints. I love just like a cute little small pink Blazy Susan joint, okay? But honestly, if I'm going to pick anything, it's going to be a bong all the way. All the way. Where are my bong girlies at? Shout out to you. But gummies or blunts, I'm going to eat a gummy. Gummies kind of scare me though, because it's like you really just have to succumb to the ride. You can't try and control the ride. You just got to go where you got to go. Hangover hacks. Okay, not to be the annoying bitch who's like, you should do this the day before, because you're like, girl, I fucking get it. That's why I'm asking you hangover hacks right now, because I didn't do anything right the night fucking before. But the night before, if you can, please eat like some ibuprofen and chug a bottle of water before you pass out. That is the bare minimum, okay? When I would go out and party in college, I would always leave, before I left, I would always leave like 2 ibuprofens and a brand new bottle of water sitting out next to my bed, because I knew my ass wasn't going to shower. My ass was going to climb right into that bed and pass out. But if I'm already laying down and it's right next to me, I'm more likely to like help myself in that moment than if I have to climb, me thinking about my bunk beds, if I have to like climb out of bed and then go find it myself. That's too much work. Your drunk self is not going to do that. So anticipate for the chaos. That's what I would say. And then I get it, you're hungover. I think I'm going to do a hangover recipe in a couple weeks. This week on my reels, I'm posting a spicy Caesar salad wrap. And it was so good. If you need a good like picnic munchy, just like on the go salad wrap where it's like light and crunchy and a little spicy and oh my God, this is it. I think I'm posting at the end of the week. So stay tuned. Follow my Instagram at Hannah Marlene. So you need to wake up. You need to drink as much water as you possibly can. If you're throwing up, get it all out. Get it all out. Do what you need to do. Get it out of your system. Next thing you're going to do is eat some ibuprofen, some more ibuprofen in the morning, okay? Ibuprofen water. You are going to order yourself the fattest breakfast that is your favorite. Me personally, I love a breakfast burrito. A breakfast burrito will heal your hangover. You got a little bit of fatty bacon in there, sausage, okay? Great to help heal the brain. You got your protein in there from the sausage or bacon, or maybe you don't eat meat, valid. At least the eggs, okay? Protein from that. cheesy goodness to help kind of settle the acidity in your stomach, and bready goodness to help soak up all that alcohol. Maybe a little spiciness if you can handle it, but also the spiciness might not be good on your tummy. But you need some sort of like really big breakfast food. Breakfast sandwich, breakfast bagel, bagel with cream cheese, big Denny's breakfast meal. You need to eat that morning. I don't care if you feel like you can't, you have to. It'll help kind of resettle your system, not only your brain, but your stomach, your intestines. I feel like when I feel like, I get the gut health girlies, because when I feel a mess, it's when my stomach is all messed up. So if you can help that feeling the best you can, just, DoorDash yourself a fucking breakfast burrito and tip $8 and move on with your day. You know what I mean? It will save you, I promise. Gatorade, if you got it, if you can get any, electrolytes, juice, water down your system, that's going to help you the best you can. But after you face that breakfast burrito, smoke a bowl and go back to bed. Honestly, the best hangover cure is really just offsetting it with a little bit of weed and taking the fattest nap possible. Please understand that hangover anxiety is very real. It's going to happen to everybody. Your body is all out of whack, so of course it's going to cause some anxiety. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You were just a fun little girl out having fun, a night out on the town, staying sexy, so don't take it too seriously. That's why I say sleep it off if you possibly can. If you can't, stay busy and keep it pushing. My boyfriend said I'm too negative and it brings him down. He's not sure about us. Tips? I don't mean to laugh. It's just like, it's so funny when people are like, I'm going through this horrible, awful situation. Tips? I'm like, girl, yes, I got tips. Don't worry. It sounds exactly like what he said. Maybe you're a negative person. Maybe you guys are on different vibes. Maybe you don't even realize you're being negative. You just like aren't meshing anymore. And that's a very real part of a relationship where it's like, can we vibe? Can we get along? I feel like the first year of dating is just like kind of living in love and enjoyment. And then the second year of dating is like you guys actually experiencing life side by side as human beings. And I feel like usually within the second year, a lot of people are like, wait, the rose-colored glasses have worn off. Who the fuck is this person? And listen, maybe you're a negative person. Maybe we need to handle that. Maybe we need to focus on some positive. Let's do some gratitude journaling, let's focus on some uplifting things. But also maybe you're like, I'm not being negative, I'm just being me. And in turn, I would say maybe your personalities just don't get along all the time, which is fine. They're not always going to get along all the time. But if he's not sure about you guys, if he's having doubts about you guys based off of, conflicts of personality, then maybe he's right. Maybe you guys do need to move on and find somebody who you can mesh with a little bit better. You don't necessarily have to change yourself for them. I think everybody can change, especially when it's like small, quirky aspects of yourself that you need to adjust in order to get along better with somebody. But sometimes when you're changing yourself too much to appease another person, that ain't fair, Aw, someone said happy Mother's Day to our fairy smoke mother. I love you guys. So happy to be here and be your honorary house mother, the madame of the smoke sesh. I have so much fucking fun with you guys, and I love every single one of my girlies out there, all my children. I hope you are staying hot, sexy, and growing with the world and growing into your best self. Is it wrong to leave your toxic relationship and then text other people right after the breakup? No, I think people do this thing where it's like they like mentally check out like 6 months, 3 months before the relationship actually ends. You know what I mean? It's like you're trying. It's not like necessarily you give up. I mean, I guess technically, but it's like you've tried so much that the last kind of end part of the relationship, you really were just like over it. So your process of moving on is way faster than maybe the person who didn't pre-think about any of this and had it kind of spawn onto them. It might not be easiest for them, but I don't necessarily think it's like bad. I do think you should probably have time to yourself to adjust as a single person and not rely on another man, like let's distance ourselves from men a little bit more. But I don't think it's that out of there. Like I've done it, it's not that big of a deal. But also I feel like when I was doing that, I was like searching for something else to say, like you're worthy, when I could have just sat with myself and told myself that. Once again, fuck Bumble, celibacy is the answer. What are your thoughts slash tips on summer sneaky leaks and flings? LOL, illy. Love. But also, you know that Lord quote where it's like, every perfect summer is eating me alive? Real, because you can only be the manic pixie dream girl for so long. But if you're not there yet, like, girl, go have your fun. Go enjoy. Go be that manic pixie dream girl. Go step into your dream girl shoes and put on that persona and just go live your hot, sexy, free, wild girl summer, okay? Go have some crazy fun sex. Go find someone who's worthy of hanging out with. Like, don't have a fling with a lame. At least have a fling who's gonna, like, be fun. You know, like, at least get something out of it, you know? If you're gonna be the manic pixie dream girl, if you're gonna have a summer fling, you might as well have someone who's gonna make it the most fun for you, too. You know? Someone said winged eyeliner tips. Mine are sharp today. And they're always sharp. This is what happens when you only listen to Taylor Swift at the ages of like 9 to 13. You learn how to do a good ass fucking winged eyeliner. So my mom would never buy me makeup, and I used to go to high school in the morning and do my winged eyeliner with Sharpie. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? But the best eyeliner to ever exist, you don't need any other eyeliner. It's the Heroin Make eyeliner. It's like a pen with not a felt tip but a brush tip, so you can really get a good stroke on there. Very pigmented, many different colors. I prefer a dark brown over like a black. I feel like it looks a little bit more natural. They have a light brown too, love that, but it has like the cute little anime blonde girl in the front. Heroin Make. As long as you have that eyeliner, you can do good eyeliner, I promise. So funny, my mom texted me the other day. I was at work. She goes, I'm doing bottomless mimosas for the first time. So first time, girl, you've been missing out. Anyways, she was like, I was catching up with her on Mother's Day, and she was like, I didn't know bottomless mimosas would be like that. I didn't know I'd get that drunk. I'm like, yeah, it's like the whole point. Hello. She's like, we had that, and then we were there for 3 hours. Then we went to this bar, and then we went to this place, and then all of a sudden I'm just home, and I don't even know what happened after it. And I'm like, I am my mother's daughter. She's taking a note out of my book. Like, that it was my favorite activity for like 5 years of my life. That is exactly how I also ended up in her backyard with 5 baby pools, just like hanging out in our underwear in baby pools all summer. Fun vibes, but also thoughts brought to you by bottomless mimosas. Someone said how to get a job. A, have a good resume. B, believe that job is yours. Genuinely envision yourself in that job. C, you're going into an interview to prove yourself. So don't get shy. Don't get nervous. Like, be that bad bitch who needs to fit that position. Be nice, smile, ask them questions. You're also interviewing them. I guarantee you'll get the job. Like, I hate to say it's that easy, but I mean, obviously this job market right now, not great. If you're going for an $80,000 a year position, it's going to be very competitive. But like, girl, if you need a barista gig, have a good resume that shows you're interested in things and have a good work history. If you don't have a good work history, make something up. Like, I put babysitting on my resume when I didn't have anything to fucking put on there. Make sure it's like on 1 page. Don't give me no 2-page resume. 1 page. That's all I want to look at. Make sure it's something that you're actually going to enjoy, so then you want to prove yourself at the interview. Like, if you're going for an interview for something that you don't give a fuck about, then like, yeah, you're not going to want to prove yourself the same way you would if it was something that was like a dream job. So make sure something that you're like actually interested in, whether it's a barista gig, nannying position, I don't know, any of the sort. Make sure you're going after something that you're kind of at least curious about, interested in. And C, interviews are about proving yourself. You kind of have to put on a little bit of a performance, but also I think the one thing that really sells an interview is when you actually question them and interview them back. People want to know that you are curious about something. People want to know that, you know, you're actually interested in this and you just aren't willing to do anything. It's like, no, you're your own thoughtful human being. Like, you're not going to lay down on the floor like a fucking mat to get this job. It's like, no, am I worthy of you, and are you worthy of me? I feel like that really is a great way to kind of solidify a interview. So ask questions at the end. And yeah, be a little annoying as well. I feel like the only jobs I've gotten that I've really, really loved and have actually gotten were because I was annoying. Like, hey, what time are we setting up this interview? Hey, very interested. Did it go well? Can't wait to hear back from you. Like, you gotta be a little annoying. You gotta be a little persistent. Everything good comes with persistence, I promise. Okay, let's smoke another bowl for this question because this one's wild. Oh yeah. My friend's now fiance has a Tinder. How do I tell them? Oh my god. Oh my god. If you are ever going to approach a friend about concerning behaviors of a loved one, of somebody that they really value in their lives, you have to have evidence. Because if it's your word against mine, they're going to pick the word of the person that they not love more, but definitely the one that they're getting dick from every night. Let's be real. They probably will pick their word over yours. So you have to have something to back up your word. Obviously, it's a Tinder, so I'm sure you have like screenshots, proof, things like that. You need to have proof of the dates in which you screenshotted it. You need to have proof of when these photos were uploaded and when they came from, so you can show like, no, he was doing this during your relationship. And you have to approach her in a positive and uplifting way. Do not catch her off guard. Do not send her a text 4 hours before being like, we need to talk, and freak her out. Don't do it in a public place. Come over for a girls' night. Be like, let's watch a movie at your house. Let's get a bottle of wine. Let's have a girls' night. Let's smoke. And then, start the hangout off good, and then be like, hey, there's something I want to talk to you about. Let me show you this. Show it to her, and then provide verbally all the information. I think that's the best way to go about it, especially if they're a close friend. And then you have like a whole bottle of wine, you have a couple joints rolled, so you two can like kiki, and she can freak out and go through all of her emotions, and you can chill and be there to support her throughout the night and work through those things as a good friend should. That's kind of the best way to do that, I feel like. But it is your duty as a human being, as a girl's girl, to always provide that information to the woman, so they are not left in a not real relationship. You know what I mean? Someone said, so close to getting my degree, just a few tests left. Girl, give me the strength. I am sending you so much love and power and energy directly to you, because holy shit, college is not easy, and my biggest regret of my life is not finishing college. I've thought about going back. I've thought about, giving it another chance. Maybe in the future I will, but for now I'm pretty happy where I left off. But I do think where I left off is like, I'm lucky, and it's just because my parents raised me to be an extremely hard worker, and luckily I was blessed with the talent of talking and networking and creating. And yeah, I feel I'm in a very lucky position, but I do think college is so important, and a lot of people kind of demean college, and be like, oh, it's whatever, it's just something you have to get through. And I think that's why I struggled so much with it, because I didn't see it as a privilege. Like, no one really, and this is one of my biggest regrets in my life, not for me personally, but the one way I really wasn't supported was people didn't really make a big deal about education. It was just something you did. And for me, that felt like a chore, because I didn't see quite frankly, the fucking blessing that it was to be able to have a amazing, from a public school standing, free education most of my life. Like, I didn't pay for any sort of education until college. Like, my high school graduation, it was overshadowed by my brother's wedding. And I had never really been celebrated in school at all, because I didn't really win a bunch of awards. I won one award for like art, and that was great, and I felt celebrated in that moment. But that was like my art that was being celebrated, not like my schoolwork. My parents didn't really make a big, hubbub about my graduation or anything like that. It was really mostly focusing on my brother's wedding that was happening a couple weeks later. So instead of family flying out and celebrating me, they flew out for the wedding and celebrated that. And that kind of like, I think it twisted my brain a little bit, because I wasn't able to really, that wasn't like peak of my depression, so I wasn't really able to work those emotions correctly. But yeah, I really didn't take school seriously, and I took college for granted, and I dropped out twice. And that's the one thing I really regret not doing, was taking school a little bit more seriously and seeing it as a blessing that it really is. As hard as it is and as tough as it is, I got so much from it, and I learned so much about myself, so much about different things that I would have never been able to learn about unless I did receive education. So stay strong. I am so jealous of all those girlies out there in their grad caps and gowns. Like, you guys are amazing, and that's incredible. And work hard, stay educated, stay sexy, girls, please. I love you. How to get your life back on track after a depressive episode real bad. I love you. I love you. First things first, don't be too hard on yourself. Coming from a place of like, oh, I've been here a few times, you know what I mean? It's harder to get back on your feet when you don't allow yourself the space to grow. When you aren't accepting of like, yeah, we went to a dark, low place, but that's okay. You know, let's not hold ourselves to these really high, crazy standards when we are very aware of where we are and where we need to work towards. Let's take it one step at a time. Let's be kind, caring, understanding to ourselves. And really, you just gotta, like I said, take it one step at a time. If you look at everything in front of you that you have to accomplish, it's going to feel like too much. But if you break it down for yourself, make it a little bit more manageable for yourself, it's a little bit easier to pick yourself back up. I like to start with the physical, like my outside world. That's a lot to get into, but the physical and what I can control, being able to make the best of it really helps me get back into a good routine. Setting a good routine, making sure you're taking care of your body, getting your laundry done, cleaning your room, making sure what you can control is the best it can get to in order to then focus on maybe the harder things, you know, maybe the mental health aspects, the therapy aspects, maybe the outside world, financial, job, whatever is sending you into that depression spiral. Like, I get it, but sometimes you got to start small and work your way up. Give yourself adequate time. Understand it's not going to happen overnight, but with one step at a time, you will eventually get there. But yeah, I think the best kind of tip I can really give for getting out of a depressive slump is allowing yourself space and understanding that maybe we're not where we want to get, but that's okay. Every step forward is a step in the right direction. So give yourself grace. Oh my God. Someone said in high school, my ex wanked using Head and Shoulder shampoo and got an infection. Yeah, that's insane. That's insane. I'm in auto tech and I'm struggling with keeping my peace with all this male energy. Oh God. Yeah, it's like being in a kitchen. I'm like, ugh, why are we throwing things? Like, oh my God, are you fucking 4 years old? What the fuck? When we have girls' nights at work, I'm like, oh, bless. Everything's gonna run smoothly. Everybody's gonna get each other. We're gonna do our shit. Like, no hookups, no hangups, you know? But yeah, men be babies, especially a lot of grown men. And working around grown men very closely has showed that it's a lot more than you might expect. And I can't deal with the toxic bullshit. So I just like to remove myself for those situations. Whenever people get mad or angry, I'm like, I'm going to just leave because you're obviously going through it. And that's something you need to handle, not a stress I need to take on. So enjoy your little pity party over there. I'm going to leave and let you cry in the corner. Like, very simple. I don't give a fuck about your emotions right now because you're not healthily processing them. And it's not my job to process your emotions. But yeah, a lot of toxic male energy out there in the workforce. Stay safe, ladies. Protect your peace. Feel free to contact HR if needed. Feel free to yell back if needed. Like, let me get on your fucking level since you can't understand me when I'm in a higher level. But mostly just don't respond and remove yourself from the situation if you can. Thoughts on talking shit. So they said I have grown, changed, just curious. I love you. I realized when I used to prioritize like all my conversations around talking shit, I was a miserable person. And it's because I was constantly looking for the misery. I was constantly on the lookout for other people's misery, for my misery, for just general misery. And honestly, once you free yourself from that, it is so nice. And I'm also framing that in the perspective of like, that's all you do. If you're the kind of person who all you do, the only things that come out of your mouth are like negativity, shit talking, judgment, I know your brain is miserable. I know you are living in a prison inside your own body, and I'm so sorry for you, but I cannot succumb to that too. A lot of miserable people want to grab you and drag you to the depths of hell with them, and you really just can't let them. But also, I do think there is something to be said about conversations that are had that might be shit talking, but also it's just sharing information. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of awful people will be like, people shit talk me all the time. And it's like, that's not shit talk. That's a warning. Like, let's be real. Like, people only have negative to say about you because you only are giving negative, babe. You know? Like, back in the day where communication wasn't as intense as it is now. It's like women used to sit around and talk and chit chat and share stories. So then everybody was caught up with the lore and caught up with the information and adequately understanding who people are in order to protect themselves. I do think there's something to be said about healthy shit talking, but shit talking in general, not gonna be the best. Men will do like war crimes and be like, but they're shit talking me. It's like, well, yeah, obviously we are shit talking you. What else would we be doing right now? You know what I mean? Like Drake's out here literally grooming children. He's like, just all my haters coming after me. Yeah, what else are we supposed to fucking do when we get this information? You know what I mean? Like, of course we're not supposed to like you. Hello. Anyways, someone said first therapy appointment is coming up. What should I expect? Love you, Hannah. So essentially all they're going to want to do is really just kind of get to know you and also pick your brain on like what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Like they need to know why you're there. Like what thoughts are you dealing with? What process are you dealing with? The best therapy tip I can give you is be honest. Be honest, especially when you're a very troubled individual. I feel like you go in there kind of wanting to put on a certain perspective of how you should be or frame things a certain way. The more truthful and more honest and more frank you are to your therapist, the better they can help you. If you are withholding information, if you are not giving them all the details, they will not be able to help you adequately. It's like me in this podcast. Honestly, therapy in itself. But it's like some of you will submit questions and they're very vague, and sure, would love to answer that vague question to the best ability, but sometimes I need some details, you know? I need to know the nitty-gritty in order to adequately get to the exact answer you need or to help you through that process. Therapists need the same level of accessibility. Now, I did give a little bit too much accessibility and got myself inpatiented. Fantastic. But also, I think like a lot of people are scared to share how they're really feeling, but that was one of the best things that ever happened to me was being inpatiented. And it's like not something you should really be fearful of, especially if it's something you really, really need. I think being as truthful as you can with your therapist will make a good therapy appointment. I went through many a therapist just lying because A, I didn't want to get better, B, I didn't care, C, I didn't like them. One time you might have to go through a few therapists, that's okay. But one time I looked over at my therapist and she was like, and like writing on her little journal. And then she set her journal down and I looked over and it was just drawings. It was just doodles. She was just drawing. She wasn't listening. I was expecting to see like some sort of thought process of the things I was saying. And then after I saw that, that's when I really got into lying to her. I was like, I'm going to tell this bitch the craziest things because I do not give a fuck, because obviously she doesn't give a fuck. That was also when I was like 16 and didn't know, I could just change therapists. You got to build a good dynamic. You got to build a good relationship. But in order to do that, you have to be truthful. But I love therapy, honestly. Like, get it off your chest. Have someone help you. If you can get the help, get it. How often should you change your bong water? Every single time. If possible, you should be doing it every single time, especially just to protect your lungs. Oh my God, so funny. I get my dad drunk, or like he gets drunk and then we start talking about weed, because we don't ever talk about weed together when we're sober. And then it's like, okay, we can finally say what we want to say. But he was going on this like rampage yesterday. Not rampage, but like, you know, when dads get in their lecture mode, and he was talking about like, you gotta get a vape, you gotta, not like a vape, but like a vaporizer, like a PAX or something for, you know, for your weed, you know, you just really gotta protect your lungs. I don't want to see your lungs giving out. And I was like, okay, period. You're onto something there. Maybe my next big girl step will be getting some sort of vaporizer so my lungs are healthy. But the best thing you could do now, when you're a little bit more of a degenerate and smoke out of bongs, is just make sure your bong water is cleaned every day. You do not need to inhale toxic mold, please. Thoughts on dating guys shorter than you? I think the whole like people caring about men's height stems from men trying to demean women into a certain aesthetic. So women kind of developed their own opposite thing. Still doesn't make it healthy. Makes it funny. But if you're actually applying like, I don't want to date anybody shorter than me, it's kind of dumb. It's like you're really closing yourself off to love, because what if the love of your life is 5'2"? And what if he's rich? are you gonna say no to that? You know what I mean? Open yourself up. You would be surprised where love finds you and how it finds you. But if you are completely closing yourself off to love, it's gonna be a little harder to find. Unfortunately, we don't have any call-ins today. I'm so sorry. I only got a couple, so I think I'm gonna save them for next week and try to push a bunch out next week. But I was on a roll today. I was a little high, off my caffeine, feeling good. It's gonna be a beautiful week. I only see bright, amazing things for our future, and I'm so excited to see where the world takes us. And can't wait to get to all of your fun questions next week. I hope I was able to answer them the best I possibly can. If you want to deep dive on your question and you want it to be actually answered, join the Patreon, patreon.com/smokestash, I believe, maybe /Hannah Marlene. Either way, you'll find me there. I get to every single one of your questions every single week. I upload a questionnaire and I get to every single one. So if you desperately need your question answered, come join the Patreon. If you want to hang out with the other hot, cool girls, come join the Patreon. I post a lot of fun things, interactive things, information on astrology, life in general. But if not, follow me on Instagram at Hannah Marlene to see what I'm up to. I've been posting a lot there. I'll be posting a bunch of recipes coming up, some pastries soon too. I'm posting that really good Caesar wrapped this week, so join me there. And yeah, with that being said, I love you guys. Stay hot, stay sexy, stay sane, and I will see you all next week. Mwah!